If you are questioning whether your desires are going to manifest and whether you will get what you want and what you've been desiring, I want to put your mind and heart at rest, because desire is an energy in and of itself looking for a vessel to experience itself. We have come to believe that desires belong to us, when in fact we are the vessels for desires to be expressed through. Desire will manifest. It is inevitable. And I want to share a really beautiful story with you which highlights this. And I've been meaning to share it with you for a while, and that's what we're doing today. If you have found your way to my channel, you are in the right place. Here we talk about law of assumption and really stepping into your I am presence, which is the infinite creator of your reality. So if you would like any support with recreating, reimagining, re-experiencing any part of your reality, I have one-to-one law of assumption coaching. I also have my self-concept course, I Am the One, and my book, I Am Money, Assume a New Story and Enjoy More Money. You will find all of those details in the box below this video. And if you do enjoy this video, please do give it a like, and it would be great if you could also subscribe to my channel. That would be much appreciated. So yes, your heart's desires will manifest, and I want to share a beautiful story that highlights this that I experienced a couple of months ago. I've been meaning to share it with you, but there have been other things going on. So every morning I take Dora for a walk, either down at the beach or I do this big loop around the area where I live. And when I take that walk around where I do the loop, I often pass this guy who I've seen a number of times, and he just has the loveliest energy about him. Took a little while because he seemed quite shy, so I would just always make an effort to say hello. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was down at the beach and he was walking his dog down the beach, and I waved, and then he ended up coming over and we ended up having a chat. I was asking him a lot of questions because it was clear that he had a few health issues, and he had told me that he was born with a congenital disease, and that he had had a heart transplant about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So he's spent his life in and out of hospital. He's obviously been through a lot in his life, and he's still got a really positive attitude, and he's upbeat and he's happy despite spending most of his life in and out of hospitals. So I asked him about the heart transplant, and one of the things that I asked him was, did he notice that after the transplant that he had any likes or cravings that he hadn't had before? And he said not really, but there was one thing that really stood out. After the transplant, he suddenly became obsessed with Mercedes-Benz, to the point where he actually went out and bought a car. Now, this was incredibly out of character for him because he grew up on a farm. He was, it was all about utes. So when he brought the car home and showed his family, they were shocked because he had never, ever mentioned anything about his love for Mercedes-Benz prior to the heart transplant. And for him, he's saying, I've always loved Mercedes-Benz. And they're saying, well, no, we've never heard you mention Mercedes-Benz, like a vintage Mercedes-Benz. So he drove this car around for a while, and it ended up having quite a few problems. So he ended up selling it. And I asked him, did you still have the desire for Mercedes-Benz after having bought the car? And he said, not really. It felt like the need to own a Mercedes-Benz had been met, and he didn't feel like he needed to go out and buy another one. And I just thought it was such a beautiful example of desire, because we have come to assume, we've come to believe that our desires are ours alone, when in fact desire is an energy in and of itself. It is consciousness. Desire is the infinite energy from which we came, and we are the vessels for that consciousness to experience itself in physical form. And when I got home from the beach after speaking with him, I actually went and looked up the science behind this phenomenon, which is a very common phenomenon but has not been proven by science to hold any merit. And yet there are so many anecdotal examples of where people have experienced organ transplants, and they have taken on some of the likes and the cravings and the dislikes from the donors of those organs. Desire doesn't exist within us. We exist within the field of desire. Consciousness is desire manifesting itself through all of us. So desire is constantly moving. It's the energy of life. The whole purpose of desire is to know itself and experience itself, and it needs a vessel in order to do it. Now, if you are feeling desire, then you are the vessel for that desire. But what we do is we often write our desires off before we've even given them a chance to move through us, because we've assumed that, well, that's impossible, that's never going to happen, that happens to everybody else, it doesn't happen to me. If you are feeling a desire, then that desire is an energy moving through you, wanting to experience itself. You do not have to be the one to figure out how that desire manifests. The key with desire is to give yourself permission, first of all, to have it, to feel it, to allow it, to imagine it. And obviously that's something that Neville talks and teaches a lot about. Your desires is God speaking to yourself. It's consciousness speaking to yourself. Now, it does not mean that we're going to experience all of our desires. Just because you have a desire doesn't mean you have to manifest it if you don't want to. But the thing that you want to do is allow yourself to have it. Giving yourself permission to have your desires doesn't mean you have to act on them. Let it move through you and find another vessel if it's not a desire that you want to manifest. Or if it is a desire and it's not the time to experience it, you could just hold that and go, yeah, that's something that I'd like to do later at some point. I don't feel like I have to do it now. Or if it is something that you really want right now, then go into your imagination, imagine yourself having it. And then this is really key. Bring that desire in your imagination, the having of that desire, and bring it down into your heart. Really intentionally bring that desire down into your heart and hold it in your heart and feel the feelings of that desire manifested. And then just let it go. We have moved into fifth dimensional consciousness, which is the consciousness of heart-centeredness, living from the heart, moving from the heart. Third dimension was very much of the mind. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in the coming weeks. Fifth dimensional consciousness, which we are already in and moving more into, is of the heart center. And it is the heart that generates the greatest electromagnetic energy of any organ in the body. So if you're not already, develop that relationship with your heart, where if you are using your imagination, bring that imagining, bring the having of that desire down into your heart and allow that sensation, that having of that desire to kind of expand out from your heart. Feel into the feelings from your heart and then just let it go, let it be, let it do what it'll do. Desire knows the best and easiest and quickest and most efficient way to manifest itself. Desire is going to manifest, whether through you or through somebody else. So if it's something that you want, allow yourself to have it. And if it's not something that you want, allow yourself to have the feeling anyway and let it go. Let it move on to something or somebody else. The key is to give permission to the feeling of desire no matter what it is. Let it move. And then you, being the one who has free will over your reality, the one who has embodied I am, which is the infinite desire, wanting to experience itself, you are essentially the gatekeeper. You're the one that says, yeah, that's something I'd like to experience. No, that can move on to another vessel. You do not have to experience all of your desires, but you want to allow the experience of desire to move through you. Desire doesn't live in us. We live in desire. And desire is going to find a way to experience itself. It is inevitable. That is the nature of desire, because within every desire is the seed of that manifested desire. Give yourself permission to feel it, enjoy it, and if you'd like to, allow that desire to manifest. You do not have to be the one to figure it out. What you have to do is be the one to have it now and then bring that having into your heart and let that expand from your heart. Then go about your day and let the movie unfold, which it always does. All right, if you haven't already, please do give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, have a wonderful week, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.